These are the two blended assignments that I will be talking about. This one was originally an Adobe Spark video, however I kind of wanted to just go over it myself rather than play the video. And this one is a s'more. The s'more is from week 6 through 7 that was combined, and this one's from week 5. So the questions that I had asked for the students were kind of questions that I was curious about myself as well as the teacher ones, which is why I wanted to pick these 4 questions. So for number 2 was describe the student's behavior within the class. Were they engaged or disengaged? So those were the most important questions that I had, since I want to work with kids. I know it's really easy for them to be disengaged, so I wanted to know what helped them to stay engaged with the assignments or lessons that the teacher were teaching. I also chose number 5, which was did students display any hesitant in asking for help during assignments, and was there any student leadership? So I do know that since I have been in a classroom before where there are some students that are shy, I wanted to know what kind of pushed them to ask the question, or what caused them to not ask the question, and whether peers were helping each other out during class. For the teacher, I chose describe the teacher. How were they dressed? How did they carry themselves within the classroom? So this part right here was the most important, on how they carry themselves within the classroom, since some teachers can kind of get a little bit off topic, or maybe it's the students that cause it to be a little harder to teach during the class. I wanted to know like how they stayed together with that topic or assignment, or how they got back on track. This one's originally supposed to be a number 2, but how did they engage the students? How do they walk around the classroom? Where do they spend most of their time when teaching a lesson? So I'm personally someone that likes to stay in one spot. However, through these videos, I've learned that it's important to kind of walk around to kind of check up on your students. So that's something that I need to incorporate once I am in my own classroom. So one of my favorite reflections from each of them was video 1, which is where the students were kind of working one-on-one with the teacher. And there were these 2 boys, and they were very funny, but they were able to work together to get the right answer. They were talking about certain slices of cake, and she was teaching them how to subtract, and was kind of teaching them how to do that without saying the word subtract, so that the students can kind of figure it out for themselves. And the students were getting really creative, because instead of actually doing the math, they were saying, well, I'll just eat the extras. And it was just very funny, and I liked how creative these kids were. For the week 6 through 7, I really liked video 2. So this classroom was 4th grade science. There was a lot of small talk coming from the students, such as side questions or talking about the experiment that was done. So that's kind of where I wanted my question answered, to where the students were getting disengaged. So here it kind of shows that they were just very excited about what they were going to do, so they were kind of side talking. However, the teacher was able to get them focused and organized for the experiment. And the other one I also liked was video 1 from reflection week 7. This class was 1st grade social studies. There were some students that were engaged and some students that weren't. This is a 1st grade class, so I kind of expected there to be some kind of disengagement. What I really liked about this class is that she taught in a very unique way. It's this class right here. She had a star student that would sit up at the front of the class, and she would ask them questions and have the students read with her what the fun facts were about that student. So I just found that like a very unique thing to do, and a fun thing to do, because the kids are reading without even really knowing it, since they're all super excited just to get to know about the student. So these were the 2 blended assignments that kind of stood out to me the most. I felt that I learned the most information and found useful things within these videos.